My name is Sardar Muhammad Aslan and my student ID is 230758839, and my presentation is Working Life in the Gig Economy, Freedom versus Precarity. Here is a content list of my presentation. You can see the freedom versus precarity and understanding the gig economy and the dual nature and the case studies of both Uber and delivery riders and the vulnerable groups in the gig economies, as well as sustainable solutions, as well as conclusions and references. The gig economy refers to a labor market characterized by short-term flexible job, often mediated by digital platforms such as Uber, DoorDash, or Fiverr. Unlike traditional employment, gig work offers workers the freedom to choose when and how much they work. This flexibility is one of the most appealing aspects, allowing individuals to earn income on their own terms. However, these freedoms come with significant trade-offs. Gig workers are typically classified as independent contractor, which means they are not entitled to employ such benefits such as health insurance, paid leave, or job security. The result in economic precarity, unstable income, lack of protection, and limited legal rights. In many cases, gig workers also shoulder the cost of tool, equipment, and transportation required for their jobs. If we talk about the understanding the gig economy is a system where people work on short-term jobs. So workers in the gig economy are often as independent contractors. So like gig workers usually don't receive benefit like health insurance, paid time off, retirements. So if we talk about the understanding the digital transformation, then digital transformation is the process of using digital technologies. This transformation includes the automating tasks, using data, improving customer experience, adopting work experience environments. So like overall transformation is reshaping industries, creating new jobs types, requiring people and organizations to adapt quickly to stay relevant and competitive. So if we talk about the flexibility and autonomy in work, so we can say that flexibility and autonomy are the key main reasons. Having control over your own decision at work and freedom to choose when, where, and how you can work. So this freedom can come with challenges like unstable income, lack of support, and no employee benefits. So while flexibility and autonomy can feel empowering, they can also mean more responsibility and risk. So if we talk about the challenging debates in the gig economy, so lack of job security, no benefits, unpredictable income, power imbalance, legal and policy debates. So if we talk about the an Uber driver in UK offer example of gig work where freedom and precarity coexist. On the other hand, Uber drivers enjoy the freedom of choosing their working hours, key of feature of gig economy. However, this freedom is coupled with the precarious nature of their work and characterized by the income instability, lack of job security, and limited worker benefits. If we talk about the freedom, flexibility in working hours, driver can choose whenever they work. This appeal to individuals looking for flexible schedules such as parents, students, or those seeking additional income, control over workload. Uber driver decide how much they can work, allow them to align work hours with personal schedules. We talk about a precarity, income instability, lack of benefits, and worker rights. Uber of Uber drivers often face unpredictable earning factors such as peak demand, location, and time off significantly affect income. So, example like UK Institute of Public Policy Research, it was found that 45.3% of Uber drivers earn less than UK minimum wage after expensive, which is a clear indication of precarious nature of their job. So, like Uber driver do not receive benefits such as sick leaves, vacations, pay, or pensions. So we talk about the freedom versus precarity, the dual nature of the gig economy. The gig economy represents a complex picture of modern work, one that is defined by both freedom and precarity. one hand, like gig offer freedom, workers choose their hours and overload. They can work from different locations or even multiple platforms. On the other hand, precarity brings many gig workers lack stable income, consistent work. They usually not entitled to benefits like job security, paid leave. Certain changes in platform rules or demand can leave them vulnerable. So if we talk about the autonomy in the workforce, like Uber driver, delivery riders can set their own scheduled work whenever they want, creating a flexible environment that can be attractive for people and looking for part-time work. So choice of routes and work area is it's a good option for them. Riders can select whenever they want to deliver. They are although they are limitation based on the demand and company algorithms. So if you talk about the income volatility, then the income of the delivery riders vary greatly depending on the area they are in, time of and demands. Riders often don't earn a stable income and face period of low demands. So if we talk about the physical risks, or delivery riders face danger associated with their delivery work, including traffic accident, personal injury, poor working conditions. So if we talk about the lack of employee rights, delivery riders like Uber driver are classified as self-employed, meaning they don't receive benefits such as sick pay, health insurance, or pension. Riders are also excluded from the labor protection such as union rights, leading to vulnerability during difficult circumstances. So if we talk about the vulnerable groups, low income worker with limited access to alternative stable employment are more likely to turn to gig work for income. These workers often face additional barriers such as poor education or lack of skills, making them more susceptible to income instability in the gig economy. If you talk about the woman with caregiving responsibilities are often drawn to gig work for its flexibility. So this flexibility can come to at the cost of reduced job insecurity, lack of career advancement opportunities. So they often like they have studies have shown that female delivery riders tend to work fewer hours less than their male counterpart due to their child responsibilities, leading to lower earning. So if we talk about the ethnic minorities, so they face discrimination in traditional workplaces, so which push them toward the gig work. So they may experience increased precarity with the gig economy due to the system inequalities such as reduced access to higher paying gig and higher rate of discrimination. We talk about a sustainable solution for the gig work, so we can say that by implementing the minimum wage standards, so the wage should be established for gig worker, ensuring they do not earn below the minimum wage after expenses, say should receive the health benefits, paid leaves to counter the financial instability they face, and there's going to be reduce the precarity. And if we talk about the health benefits, collective bargaining, and platform regulations, so government should implement regulations such as require gig platform like Uber and Deliveroo to provide workers with benefits such as paid leave, pension, insurance. So how these companies have responsibility to treat their worker fairly and provide them with a safe and sustainable work environment. So this regulation will reduce the vulnerability of gig worker by ensuring their basic protections laws. So if we talk about the key takeaways and further reading, balance, freedom, and precarity, vulnerable groups, sustainable solutions. So is will help us to include the things and implementing the minimum wages as well as Uber and Deliveroo current flexible model conflict with the proposed employment practice modifications and the government effort to enforce regulation on the gig work sector encountered the difficulties as they may have balanced worker protection and operational business needs. So, by successful implementation of proposed solutions, demand the resolution of economic challenges, political barriers, and legal restriction to reduce the precarity. And the further reading, the gig economy, the good and bad, and the ugly by Diana Mull Precarity. This source provides a comprehensive overview of the gig economy by its benefits and drawbacks and the precarious work by Guy Straining. This book explores the concept of precarious work in depth and is highly relevant for understanding the systematic issue facing gig workers. So if we talk about the challenges to implementation, economic barriers, business model conflicts, regulatory complexity, global inconsistency. So by implementing the minimum wage rule and benefit increase cost, potentially threatening platforms. So by using the Uber and Deliver flexible models, we can work on the current contractor classification changes threaten their profitability framework. So if we talk about the global inconsistency, so solution may have limited effectiveness globally as region as different laws and economic standard. By successfully implementation of these solutions, it can address these economical challenges as well as restriction to reduce precarity. So if we talk about the conclusion, then 43% of the UK Uber drivers earn below minimum wage after expenses, and 35% of delivery riders report accidents or injuries with no compensation, and 37% of the gig worker receives a pay rate lower than their national living wage amount. So so the gig economy present a unique blend of freedoms and precarity for the worker, while the gig worker enjoy flexibility in their hours and work arrangement. They face significant challenges related to income instability, lack of benefits, and job insecurities. Case studies of Uber driver and deliverers highlight these issues, showing how vulnerable groups such as low-income worker, women, and ethnic minorities are disproportionately affected by precarious nature of gig work. To address these challenges, two sustainable solutions were proposed: fair pay and improved benefits and platforms regulation with worker benefits. These solutions aim to reduce the precarity in gig economy by ensuring better compensation, job security, and basic worker protection. Business and moral justification for these solutions are clear, demonstrating that fair treatment of gig workers not only benefits workers but also create a more stable and productive workforce for businesses, aligning with principle of corporate social responsibility and social justice. While gig worker offer freedom, its precarity needs to be addressed through ethical and sustainable practices to ensure fairness and security for the gig workers. So following are the references, and thank you so much.